Welcome to Watch and See Truth in History.
The sun beat down on the Little Bighorn River Valley, casting long shadows and illuminating the landscape with a golden hue. It was a scene of deceptive tranquility where the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft murmur of the river belied the tension that lay beneath. Rolling hills, lush with summer grass, stretched towards the horizon, their vibrant green contrasting sharply with the clear blue sky above. The air buzzed with insects, their incessant hum a constant reminder of the life that thrived in this seemingly peaceful valley. Beneath this peaceful facade, tension simmered, an undercurrent of unease that hinted at the storm about to break. The year was 1876, a time of great change and conflict in the American West. This picturesque valley in Montana Territory was about to become a battleground, a place where destinies would be forged and legends born. On one side stood Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer and his 7th Cavalry, a force renowned for their discipline and fighting prowess. They were a formidable force, hardened soldiers of the U.S. Army, their faces set with determination and resolve. Their mission was to crush the resisting Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes, to bring an end to the resistance that had defied them for so long. Victory would mean the final subjugation of these proud people, the end of their way of life, and the beginning of a new era of American expansion. And across the valley, hidden amongst the trees and coulees, lay a different kind of army, one that fought not for conquest but for survival. Thousands of warriors, led by Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Gall, prepared to defend their way of life, their homes, and their families. Armed with rifles, lances, and a fierce determination, they represented the last bastion of resistance against the encroaching tide of white settlement, a symbol of defiance and courage. The stage was set for a confrontation that would become legend, a battle that would echo through the annals of history. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, a clash of cultures, a fight for survival, was about to begin. It was more than just a battle, it was a defining moment, a turning point that would shape the future of a nation and the fate of its people. George Armstrong Custer was a man of contradictions. He was a figure who embodied both the virtues and vices of his time. A Civil War hero, he was known for his bravery, his long golden hair, and his relentless ambition. His exploits on the battlefield earned him a reputation as a fearless leader, one who would stop at nothing to achieve victory. Custer craved glory, and he saw the campaign against the Sioux as his path to even greater fame. He believed that a decisive victory over the Native American tribes would cement his legacy as one of America's greatest military leaders. Yet Custer was also under immense pressure. The weight of expectation from both the public and the government bore heavily on his shoulders. The public clamored for a swift end to the Indian problem. The government demanded results. Politicians and military officials alike were eager for a quick and decisive resolution to the ongoing conflicts with the Native American tribes. This pressure, coupled with his ambition, may have clouded Custer's judgment. He was determined to prove himself, to show that he could deliver the victory that everyone so desperately wanted. Custer faced a daunting task, leading his troops through unfamiliar and hostile territory. He had to navigate not only the physical challenges of the landscape, but also the psychological strain of constant vigilance. The Lakota and their allies were skilled warriors, fighting on their own land. They knew the terrain intimately and had the advantage of defending their homes and families. They had already dealt the army a humiliating defeat at the Battle of the Rosebud just days earlier. This victory had emboldened the Native American forces, giving them a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Despite the odds, Custer remained confident. He believed that his experience and the discipline of his troops would carry the day. He believed in the superiority of his troops and his own abilities. Custer was convinced that his leadership would lead them to victory, no matter the challenges they faced. Little did he know he was riding into a trap, one that would seal his fate and forever etch his name in the annals of American history. The Battle of the Little Bighorn would become a defining moment, not just for Custer, but for the entire nation. It was a stark reminder of the complexities and consequences of ambition and the weight of expectation. Custer's plan was simple, perhaps fatally so. He would divide his regiment, about 600 men, into 3 battalions. This would allow him to surround and crush the Native American village, which his scouts told him was vast. Major Marcus Reno would lead the first attack, striking the southern end of the village. Colonel Frederick Benteen, with another battalion, would guard the pack train and provide support. Custer himself would take the remaining soldiers and charge in from the north. Dividing his forces in the face of a numerically superior enemy was a risky gamble. It relied on the element of surprise and the assumption that the Native Americans would be caught off guard. However, Custer underestimated the strength and determination of his opponents. His fateful decision would have disastrous consequences. The Native American forces arrayed against Custer were a formidable alliance. These warriors, hailing from various tribes, had come together with a singular purpose. Their unity was a testament to their shared resolve and the gravity of the threat they faced. Thousands strong, they represented the largest gathering of Plains Indian warriors in history. This unprecedented assembly was not just a show of numbers, but a powerful statement of solidarity and resistance. The Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho had put aside their differences, united in their determination to protect their land and a way of life. This unity was born out of necessity as they faced the encroaching forces that threatened their very existence. They were led by chiefs of great renown. Sitting Bull, the spiritual leader of the Lakota, a man whose visions and leadership inspired his people to stand firm. Crazy Horse, a fearless Oglala warrior, known for his unyielding courage and tactical prowess, he was a symbol of resistance and defiance. And Gall, a Hunkpapa war chief, known for his tactical brilliance. Gall's strategies and battlefield acumen made him a formidable opponent, respected by both allies and enemies. These leaders, each with their own strengths and experience, forged a cohesive fighting force. Their ability to strategize and work together was crucial in uniting their people against a common enemy. The warriors were armed with a mixture of traditional weapons and firearms, some acquired through trade, others captured in battle. This blend of old and new weaponry showcased their adaptability and resourcefulness. They were masters of their terrain, skilled horsemen, and adept at guerrilla warfare. Their intimate knowledge of the land gave them a significant advantage, allowing them to move swiftly and strike with precision. Together, they posed a deadly threat to Custer and his men. Their unity, combined with their strategic acumen and fighting skills, made them a force to be reckoned with. This alliance of warriors was not just fighting for victory, but for the survival of their culture, their families, and their future. The battle began with Major Reno's assault on the southern end of the village. Reno's men charged into a hail of gunfire. The Native American warriors, far from being surprised, were ready. They poured out of their lodges, engaging Reno's troopers in a fierce firefight. Reno's attack quickly faltered. Outnumbered and outgunned, his men were forced to retreat. They scrambled across the Little Bighorn River, seeking refuge on a timbered hilltop. There they dug in, desperately trying to hold off the relentless Native American attacks. Reno's assault had failed to achieve its objective. Instead, it had alerted the entire village to the army's presence. Custer, advancing from the north, was about to ride into a maelstrom. As Custer and his men rode towards the village, they were met by a scene of utter chaos. Reno's men were pinned down, taking heavy fire. The valley seemed to swarm with Native American warriors. Custer, still believing he had the advantage, ordered his men forward. However, he had fallen victim to a brilliant tactical maneuver orchestrated by Gall. The Hunkpapa war chief had anticipated Custer's movements and had positioned his warriors to block the 7th Cavalry's advance. Gall's strategy was simple but effective. He would use the terrain to his advantage, drawing Custer's men deeper into the valley where they could be surrounded and annihilated. Custer, blinded by his own ambition and the chaos of battle, rode directly into